So there's lots of things out there that may in fact be legal, but they choose to not even test for them. So like there's something called T3, cytomel. It's a thyroid medication. Liothyronine is the correct name. I called it lightning. You know, there's articles that have been written because I was giving it to all the sprinters because it made their legs feel really light. It accelerates your metabolic rate. They chose, the Water Prohibited Substances Committee chose not to put that on the prohibited list. Well, they said there's no science to prove that. Well, when you're in the trenches with coaches and elite athletes and they take something, trust me, they know by the stopwatch whether it works or whether it doesn't. So there's a lot of loopholes. There's a lot of issues and problems that exist. But my goal is to be a true speaker and point this all out so that people don't get deceived into thinking, oh, they're with VADA, so they got to be clean.
Got you. So
VADA may be the best that it's available today to boxers, and there are tremendous benefits, and I recommend that all my fighters do it, but it is certainly not foolproof.
Ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Roll the Tape film crew. Well, you heard what Victor Conte just said. They were his words. Yes, his words. Yes, that was the interview that I conducted with Victor Conte in December of 2023. That was the first interview that I conducted with Victor Conte, and I also interviewed him again another time, which was almost a week later. But that was the first interview. Now, before I analyze his words and allow you to process and digest the words that you just heard him say, let me first encourage you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I appreciate all of the contributions that you make on the channel and those contributions that you are going to make. And one contribution is the most valuable asset, and that is your time. I appreciate that. Now, with regards to your monetary contribution, I also encourage that. And you could support the channel so that we can continue to publish quality content to educate you first and entertain you second. And you can do so by clicking on that $ with a heart on the outside of it. And that's called a super thanks. Or you can also contribute to the channel by joining the channel and becoming a supervisor of the Roll the Tape film crew. Or you can simply just Cash App $ Manager Marty. All contributions are greatly appreciated. Now, enough with the hugs, handshakes, and Valentine's Day cards. Let's get to what Victor Conte said. If you don't know who Victor Conte is, you might be new to the channel. You might be new to boxing. You might be new to the controversy that has reverberated across the YouTube boxing community when it comes to my channel and Victor Conte and everyone else who would begin to comment on a lot of the things that Victor Conte said in the interviews that he conducted with me. Now, Victor Conte is the founder and the CEO of SNAC, SNAC, which I dubbed the SNAC program. And most of the top fighters and athletes in the sport of boxing have been exposed to the SNAC program or are currently on the SNAC program by using supplements and, in the words of Terrence Crawford, other things that other SNAC fighters don't use, and other regimens and supplements and whatever else Victor Conte gives these athletes. The bottom line is it's enhancing their performance. Okay? Now, let's dive into what you just heard Victor Conte say. His words, not mine. Just because a fighter is with VADA doesn't mean that they are clean. Why? Because even though VADA is the best testing anti-doping agency in sports, including boxing, it's still not foolproof. Now, let me give you context on that. The reason why he's saying it's not foolproof is because I asked him a question about a tweet that he made regarding Memo Heredia, another notorious steroid dealer from back in the day. And the tweet that Victor Conte put out to the public nearly 2 years ago was that smart cheaters know how to circumvent anti-doping tests. In other words, a professional boxer can be associated with a smart cheater, a former or current steroid dealer, PED peddler, and they'll never get caught because the protocols of testing are so easy to circumvent. Now, in the words of Victor Conte himself, his words, not mine, he says circumventing testing is as easy as taking candy from a baby. And you know I have the evidence to prove that he said that. Now, what I'm trying to figure out is that even though Victor Conte's promoting his snack fighters being a part of VADA, and even though we just recently saw Bill Haney encourage Ryan Garcia to undergo another regimen of testing through VADA, my question is, why VADA? If all of the testing protocols are flawed in some way, and if VADA is not foolproof, and smart cheaters can circumvent the testing of VADA, then why is Victor Conte promoting it? In other words, VADA is not the only game in town, as they say. VADA is not the only anti-doping agency in town. I mean, let's face it. I cracked the case wide open when I exposed the fact that VADA do not perform any of the testing procedures. I also exposed the fact that VADA do not and did not create their own testing protocols. And I also exposed the fact that VADA doesn't even administer the collection of blood and urine samples, nor do they ship it off to the labs to be tested. According to the founder of VADA, Dr. Margaret Goodman, who I interviewed as well almost a year ago, right here live and live in color on this channel, she told me that VADA is just, and I quote, the middleman between the testing agencies and professional boxers. So with that being said, I want all of you to process everything that you know thus far, including the information that I just provided to you, on top of the words of Victor Conte himself. His words, not mine. Just because a fighter's with VADA doesn't mean that they're clean. Circumventing testing is as easy as taking candy from a baby. I have a question on that. Since there are a lot of different fighters who have name recognition in our sport of boxing that's associated with Victor Conte and the snack program and even VADA, how do we know that they are clean? According to all the information that was presented in this video and in previous videos, including the words of Victor Conte himself. How can we have faith in the system of testing? How do we know that your favorite boxer, who is associated with Victor Conte and the snack program and VADA, is actually clean? I am not saying that any of those fighters are not clean, but I'm just asking the question because a lot of people are very, very suspicious because their performances are being enhanced. And we all can agree to that. You know what? I'm doing way too much talking. Don't take my word for it. Roll the tape.